Good afternoon, Bermuda. Thank you for the opportunity just before Easter to be able to have a frank talk with you and a reality chat about where we are as a country. There's been a lot of talk over the last couple of days from the opposition and about where we are as a country, and it does disturb me that we are still practicing what I would consider to be schoolyard politics, where we are misdirecting the public as to what really is going on. You know, there's been talk about the travel budget, there's been talk about term limits again, and as we've come out of the budget period, we've been very clear on where we stand with these things, very clear on the salary cuts that we took as a cabinet, the cabinet ministers, but it may be important for us to once again reiterate and set the record straight as to where we are as a country. Now is not the time for us to be involved in these kinds of schoolyard politics. The world is passing us by. We are in a global economy competing here, and we can no longer be so insular that we're fussing amongst ourselves that in a global economy, it's making decisions that is leaving this country out. Our finance minister said back some time ago, we need to stop the bleeding. There's two pillars of our economy. There's the finance, the insurance industry, and then there's tourism. And one of the challenges that we have is tourism is waning. It's a leg that almost looks paralyzed, and we've got to revitalize that. And then you have the finance and you have the insurance industry, and we've seen over the past years a trickling away of that business. It is important that we get back on the world stage and competing again, and that the businesses that are here, we shore them up, and that number one, we introduce jobs back to the table. But that can only happen if we shore up the businesses that are here and we let the economy know, the world economy know, that we're here to do business. And that's what the One Bermuda Alliance is after. So maybe we can talk about, and we'll have some questions after this here, but I want you to be able to sift through all of the stuff that you're hearing out there to really see what is going on. We have an economy right now that, a budget that the OBA as a government inherited. And it's frightening what's been happening. Within March itself, and I want to be clear here, within March, this March, we were close to not being able to pay our bills as a government. That should be concerning to the country. This is something that we have inherited, but this government will walk us through and will be responsible in bringing us out of the situation that we are in. But these are things that we have acquired from our predecessors, but we will not shy away from them. We will go after them with a tenacity. And as you've heard from some of our predecessors, former premiers, to say, listen, we're going to be decisive and we're going to be responsible about how we move forward. And that is what the One Bermuda Alliance is here to do, to be responsible. When we start talking about term limits, we've been over this week after week after week. We recognize that we said to the public that we were suspended for 2 years. But after having looked under the hood to see all of the advice that had been given, it was very easy for us to say and see that it was not needed, and it was an inhibitor to new business getting to the country. So it was imperative that we move swiftly with these things to get them done, because this is about getting businesses back into the country and hiring Bermudians. It is very, very, very important. So, you know, for the life of me, sometimes I wonder in politics, we've explained to the opposition how these things have been progressing, and we can explain them and explain them. It is difficult for us to help them comprehend it. But we will continue to explain to ensure that the public understands exactly where this government is going. So with that in mind, I'll open it up to any questions. Yes.
I know you went over term limits. I think some of the things that Martin and Walter Van, I think that press conference was held by the two of them.
Yes.
Things that they specifically mentioned was term limits. I believe they also mentioned the fact that about the seniors and the car situation for licensing fees, and they also the fact that cabinet was going to be decreased, but it was actually, in fact, increased
Yes.
cost-wise. What can you say to some of the actual specific things that they've mentioned in their press conference?
Sure, very easily. With cost-wise, when it comes to the ministers, you'll see for the year of 2013 budgeted that there will be a decrease to the taxpayer and what he pays out for the ministers that we do have. So it's rather interesting to see or hear that they're misrepresenting that truth. The budgeted amount for 2013-14 for the cabinet ministers is actually less than what our predecessors would have paid. You know, I think there was some confusion about the salary cut and the time frame, but we could not bring a resolution to have those salary cuts changed in January and February because we had not met as in the House of Assembly. And that resolution had to be brought in March to the House of Assembly for it to be effected. So it was impossible for us to do it before then. We had to meet in the House of Assembly to have this resolution passed. You know, you mentioned one of the other ones. What was the one of the?
The seniors now being having to pay for their license costs.
Yeah, that draws back to the premise that we have got to be fair and equitable to everyone. One of the challenges that all of us know is that there was, within TCD, there were many people who were getting these cars under the auspices of seniors when that wasn't the case. And so, you know, it took some time for us to go over it. And as you know, the minister revisited his initial claim. We feel that this is fair to everyone. We all have a stake and a part in bringing this country back to a position whereby we're balancing the budget and we are all playing our part to give back to the kitty to help move things along. That's what this is about, all of us participating in this here. Anything else? Well, with that in mind, guys, I'd like to say to Bermuda, have a happy Easter. This is a wonderful family time. Takes me back to the days in St. David's when we had marbles playing. You had a ring about this size, and all the family was there enjoying the codfish, cakes, and the hot cross buns. Be safe, Bermuda. Enjoy this time, and most importantly, enjoy your family as we celebrate this Easter time. Thank you. Tomorrow, yes, I'll be at Horseshoe Bay tomorrow morning, up there having a good time. I'm actually making my kite, so I'll be taking my kite. I don't know if we'll win in the contest at all, and then we'll be heading down to St. David's to the Cheekham Bird go-kart race.